Hello, heroes. Welcome to the Skyjack's Courier's Call Season 2 Q&A. For those who might be confused by those letters, that stands for questions and answers. Y'all have sent us some wonderful questions. Y'all are also with us in the chat. I'm going to try and watch the chat for questions, but here's the thing about chat is it goes very fast and it's really hard to... It bounces around every time you try to highlight questions. It's very difficult. I will do my darndest to pick up questions from the chat if I see some good questions. Otherwise, y'all responded to things. We have a huge document full of questions. We're probably not going to be able to get through all of them. So we can start getting to them, though. I'm going to go around and introduce to you the cast of Skyjack's Courier's Call. First up is the person who plays no one and everyone. That is Drew Merziesky. Drew.
Hi, everybody. How you going? How you going?
How you going? Hey, they say that in Australia. They say that in Australia. It's fine. That's acceptable. You were just doing a folksy Australian thing.
We're here. We're doing the thing. Hi,
welcome
everybody.
in. That's another thing they say in Australia.
Hi, everybody. I'm Drew. I'm your host and narrator for Courier's Call. My pronouns are he, him. And I play, as James said, no one and everyone.
Yeah, Drew, we are so excited to have you here. We're gonna ask everybody so many more questions, get to know them a little bit more. But I want to know what is the thing if you were on a big ship like an Audran? What would you want to do? You know, what would be the first thing you did if zap you're on an Audran? What would you do?
Oh man,
the terror on everybody else's faces. They realize they're going to have to answer this question.
It's palpable. I can feel it. I would go to the crow's nest. I'd go all the way to the top to see how high that is. I've been on sailing ships. I've been on like tall masted ships. And I've been in the rigging. On your beard, I
could believe that.
Yeah, you can tell that. In the rigging, it's terrifying. It's because not only are you up high, but the thing sways as you go with the boat, and the way that levers go, like this is farther than this down here. So it's terrifying. But being at the top there is a lot of fun, and that's the first place I would go on an Audran ship. All
right, very cool. Let's move on. And let's go to our very own Allie Grauer. Allie, welcome.
Hello. Thank you, James. My name is Allie Grauer. My pronouns are she, her. And on Skyjack's Courier's Call, I play June Hymnal, confirmed bird girl and punch lady. I also
bird girl working on punch lady. Like
punch lady in progress.
Like exactly, you're going to blossom into a beautiful
not a bird girl, not yet a punch lady, punch woman. I also serve as the show's audio editor. So
award-winning audio editor.
Yeah, that's true. You can hear that sound. That's the sound, a clanking of gold from all of the metals that
and the fun bucks.
Come in the fun
money.
I'm gonna be honest. It's mostly fun bucks that clank around in there. Although there are also the real dollars that I pay Allie to do that editing.
That's true. Thank you, James.
Allie, I have a question for you.
Yes. Okay.
Zap, you are on an Audran ship. What is the first thing you do?
Specifically, one of the Audran ships.
Yeah.
Not just any sky ship.
Can be any one of the Audran ships.
Cool. First, I would attempt to determine which Audran ship, because that would determine my next move. Like if it's very obvious to me that this is the Black Audran, I'm gonna go find that spooky stuff in the basement. I'm gonna go to the hold and try to find that. Stuff.
You'll walk on the ship. You'll run to the first person you see on the ship, and you'll be like, "Hey, where's this? Can you show me the spooky stuff in the basement?" And they'll be like, "Which spooky stuff in the basement?" That's literally all we've got, folks.
That's the Black Audran, baby. Yeah. But if it's like I zap onto the Audran and everybody's got a cool sword, it's the Yellow Audran, and I'm definitely gonna go try to hang out with the captain because she's extremely cool, and I think she's very cool. Red Audran, straight to the aviary, no question. Best birds. And Gray Audran try to hide and not be found, because I don't know what they do and I don't necessarily want to be involved.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have we've got a voice that is responsible for a lot of spooky situations, a lot of emotions, a lot of, we'll say it, sadness. And that's Palomi Pratap.
Palomi's like, me?
In season 1,
we've established I engage in boy horror.
Palomi, please tell everyone who you are and whom you play.
I am Palomi. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Kieran Rao. Their pronouns are they, them. And I don't know where I was going with the rest of the sentence.
Well, I will say, I'm just going to point this out here because I've done all sorts of discussions about Courier's Call season 1, but none of them got to involve you. And I want to say all of the emotional gut punches that I got in season 1, really, apart from like June's mom, they were all Kieran moments. So
doing my job, baby.
Yeah. Too powerful. Palomi, zap! You are on an Audran. What is the first thing you do?
I feel like I would probably go to the very bottom and hide. Smart, get a lay of the land, and then probably, just infiltrate my way into the crew and pretend like I belonged here the whole time. And hopefully one day I will become the captain.
I feel like I'm thinking through the Audrans, and I feel like the Audran that will work on best is either the gray Audran, because everybody will go like, well, we've never seen this person before. Clearly this is some kind of test. Like the captain is put in front of us. This is a weird game. Or you go on the black Audran and everybody's like, what? Who touched something? Someone touched something because this person.
Do you see this person?
I appear in a summoning circle.
This person is acting like they've been here and they have not.
I have never tied a knot in my life.
That's exquisite.
It's gonna cause problems.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have a powerful voice. A voice who, when you have been at your lowest moments in the worst year of your life, has brought you back from the brink, has pulled you tight to their chest and said, "Squad!" And that is Aaron Catano Saez.
Hello. I'm Eric Catano Saez. I use he, him pronouns, and I play Cecilia Whitwick on the Courier's Call, and she uses she, her pronouns. Yeah, and sorry, I was excited about the question. I've been thinking about it. Like the chat said, I've had a really long time to think about it, so I'm ready.
Zap, you are on an Audran. What do you do, Aaron?
Well, I'm on the black Audran, and I am immediately going to wizard school. I am immediately like, I don't know what they do on the black Audran. I'm immediately like cutting my hair and being like, I offer up all that I have to wizardry and power. I start pulling out items from my pockets like garbage, and I'm like, are these relics? Are these artifacts? Can I cast, is this a lumen? And it's like a picture of my mom. And I'm like, can I use this for power? I'm going ham trying to get wizard powers.
I love it. You gotta quest for power. That's the first step. Everyone, I am so happy to have you all here. I am so excited that we have you all here because we are right now in the middle of fundraising for Skyjack's Courier's Call Season 2. It's live on Kickstarter right now. And we are doing, I'm going to say it quite well. Quite well we are doing. I'm over the moon. We have one stretch goal left to hit. It's really, we're under $1,200 to get there. If we can pass the 20,000 mark on Kickstarter, we are going to be able to get a new song by Arnie Parrott for the new season. I have stated before on One Shot why this is very important to me. Folks, we unlocked the Audran prom. We are about to send these wonderful kids to a dance, and we need an absolute banger for them to rock out to during that dance. And we can guarantee that if we can get Mr. Arnie Parrott to create a new song for the show. We're here really to celebrate these wonderful performers, to celebrate their great successes, to look forward to the wonderful things that they are about to go through in season 2, but also we're here to get that song. So if you haven't already, please head over to Kickstarter, search for Skyjack's Courier's Call Season 2, or you can go to bit.ly/SkyjacksCC2. I did check on that. That is a bit link that I set up, and it does work. So please go there. Check it out. Back at whatever level. If you've already backed, thank you so much. Share the project. The more eyes that we get on it, the more likely we are to pass that 20,000 mark. Especially at this point, I hate it running a Kickstarter when people like contact me the day after, like, oh, I didn't see it. We want people to see it. We want everybody to have that chance. With that out of the way, though, folks, we got some questions. And this is, again, a Q&A. I'm going to be supplying you with good Qs, to which you will respond with As. The first one comes to us from Milvis Ray, I believe. Again, hey, it's going to be my dyslexic rear cold reading all these names, so we're gonna take what we can get on them. They ask, Cassie wants to know, can she go to Audran prom too? And also, do you think they will have rock candy there?
Interesting. I guess that's me that answers it.
Yeah, Drew, are you gonna let
Yeah.
Are you gonna let Cassie come to Audran prom?
Of course, Cassie
invited?
can go to Audran prom. If you're a novice in the Honeysmoke Mountains, where Audran prom is going to be, you get to go to Audran prom.
That's cute. I didn't know that.
Now, I have a follow-up question for this, Drew.
Please.
Because I was thinking about this question when I saw it earlier. The regional, people who work at the various offices, maybe they're not on an Audran, but you got to roll at one of the offices, like obviously the Honeysmoke office, because that's where it's seated. But if you're in the Bougeneath office, what are the rules? What is the cutoff for getting into the Audran prom?
That's a good question. That dovetails onto another question we have here about how do apprentices that aren't in Thornvale, how does that work?
Yeah.
Like that. It's a good question. One I have not fully thought through yet. But
That's a valid answer.
I will probably say this. If you are on an Audran and are flying on the Audran, you get to go to prom.
Yep.
It's kind of one of the perks of being called to be an apprentice on an Audran and what you're doing. So it's really, if you're in the local area and you're like an apprentice or a novice or something, you get to go to prom, where I'm sure they hold prom in different places throughout every other year or something like that. So if you are a novice or an apprentice that's kind of the cutoff, is if you're on an Audran or not. You got to work hard to get on those Audrans, and then you get to go to different places and go to Audran prom, and it's very exciting.
So if I am a Bougeneath apprentice in the mailroom, just working at that office, is there a lottery system that I can go through, or am I just boxed out?
That's the interesting thing. When it comes for Audran prom, yes, I would say it's you can't do it now, but let us say you are a Bougeneath apprentice. You've been picked up by one of the all couriers and you're working in the mail office in Bougeneath. And the postmaster's like, this kid's pretty good. You have my recommendation. We're going to send you to Thornvale. And you're going to spend some time in Thornvale, and maybe you'll get picked up on the Audran. We'll see.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So really, we'll talk about that later. That is a very deep hole, but I am interested. So Cassie, it seems like you can, especially if you're from the Honeysmoke region, we will see you there. The follow-up question though, Drew, is will they have rock candy?
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, as we've established through Bobby Jean, honey's a thing in the honey smokes. So honey candy, sugar, rock candy, all that's in the honey smokes. So they'll definitely have it.
Radical. Well, there you've heard it here. Rock candy will be present, which means Bobby Jean is coming home with a stomach ache, baby.
Yeah, Bobby G.
Heck yeah.
There was a quick interjection here. Is it Boujanith or Berjanith or both? I believe it is Boujanith. Again, it is combining Welsh with where's Prague?
Czechoslovakia?
Maybe it's not.
Czech
No.
Republic?
Polish. Yeah, it's combining Polish and Welsh. So I'm doing my best.
Who knows?
I used an internet guide to figure those out, so that might be accurate, but the most accurate, I think, is Boujanith. Next up, this one comes to us from TG Reaver. In an episode of your parent podcast, Campaign Skyjacks, it was revealed that there are indeed not only bodegas, but also bodega cats in Ungoni. Will we see any bodega cats in Tesh-Ert?
That's such a good question.
That's a very good question.
I want to see a bodega cat.
That's up to you guys, I think. Like,
I feel like, I mean, Aaron being our resident New Yorker has something to say about bodegas and bodega cats. And y'all don't know this yet about Tesh-Ert, but there's a vibe in Tesh-Ert.
There's definitely a vibe.
There's a vibe.
There's like a very specific vibe that I really want to like hammer down. And occasionally in Tesh-Ert, I don't know if this is canon, but a lot of people just start screaming vibe check, and that's when everyone holds up their bodega cat to the sky, and everyone
has a bodega and a bodega cat.
Okay,
Tesh-Ert.
so what I am
Required.
learning
Vibe
here
check.
is there's got to be like some sort of animal. I'm picturing like an insect that is the vibe.
Yes.
Oh,
And-
it's called the vibe.
You need your bodega cats to protect you from the vibe. So like when and the cat will zero in on that vibe. So that the vibe check is literally you bring out your cat, make sure there are no vibes around. Drew.
It's like a mouse-sized locust.
Nasty.
Vibe
Cool.
check.
I hate
And
it.
we were talking about this earlier, but Tesh-Ert has a thing about frogs, about toads,
Mhm.
and like closed like hydroponic systems. We were all talking about this earlier. I bet those locusts like interfere with those toads, so they have to make sure that those toads are taken care of, and that's why they have a bunch of cats.
Yeah.
Boom.
And
See?
for,
Oh, look, vibe check. See, we're getting our own vibe check, and I appreciate that.
Bodega cats confirmed.
Confirmed bodega cats.
yeah, confirmed. All right. This one comes to us from CK Commons. Audran prom is coming. Who would you vote for prom queen, and what would you want the theme to be? This is.
Can we even answer that?
So
Like,
this is what I will say. Gut check right now. And this is we're not at the character portion yet. Okay. So
No.
this is
Yeah.
you, the person, the player. Who would you vote for the prom queen? As we know, there are no kings. So there is no prom king.
Just queen. So
Queen is the only title.
There are two queens.
Oh, I love
there's a bandit
it.
queen, so that all checks out.
It's fine.
There's a forest queen too.
Forest queen too.
Ew.
So,
Boom.
Confirmed.
oh man.
So that implies prom has a bandit prom queen and a
forest prom queen.
forest
I feel
prom
like
queen.
every organization has this kind of prom, and what I'm understanding is how the forest queen became the prom queen, or became the forest queen, was strictly it's a popularity contest.
Yeah, it's
Right.
through a prom system.
Of course,
that is-
all
So-
the
Prom vote
changelings
system.
vote.
Yeah. I mean, so you're a couple. Which one of you is the forest queen and which one of you is the bandit queen?
Oh yeah.
Boo.
Okay. This is a gut check. You
Gut check.
have a roster of characters. You have a roster of characters you've met based on the characters you've met and that we've seen. Who is wearing that crown?
I have my answer.
All right, Aaron?
Oh, it's got to be Ruby.
Ruby.
Yeah.
Ruby is a fire mage icon. That attitude is the kind of attitude we need in a prom queen this year. Just like a really chill, a really centered, a really mature energy to kind of like, we're all getting really hyped up. Gotta bring it down. Thanks, Ruby. I see you.
All right, Aaron votes for Ruby. Who's next? Who's got an answer?
I think I want it to be Bobby Jean.
Ooh.
I think I want Bobby Jean to be prom queen.
Now, the rumor has it that Bobby Jean rules. So that could be a good choice.
I mean, that rumor's been going around for months now. And I feel like people are talking. And Bobby Jean's got a real shot at this.
I'm very excited about that answer. Paloma, what about you?
I feel like I, out of character, would nominate Captain Dennison. Just because I think he needs a night, to feel a little pretty, a little special. He needs a little bit of a W. Like, it's not that his life is sad necessarily. It's just that he lives in a closet, and I'm worried about.
Forgot about these canon facts. Oh my god.
He lives in a closet.
He unfortunately does.
And Drew, what about you? You are more intimately familiar, I think, with the entire roster of the world of Courier's Call, more so than anyone else.
Oh man, I love Ruby. I think I'd vote for Ruby.
Ruby, that's queen. 2 votes for Ruby.
Ruby Tuesday.
It's either Ruby or it's Bran. Like
Ruby just won.
Bran.
Interesting.
Wait,
all right.
Drew. What about Ard?
Ard for prom queen?
Ard, can Ard even go?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think
Ard is like
Ard.
40.
He's like a chaperone.
I don't think he can go.
He's standing by the punch.
He's very busy. He's very, very busy.
Ard sent the invitations and doesn't get to go.
Oh no!
Yeah, Ard. We spent a long time in the beginning establishing that if you're not an Audran, you don't go to Audran prom.
That's true.
Ard is not going there.
No,
he's not.
Ard.
I do know that Coriander and Patience Rebecca go to Audran prom. They go to every single one.
Well, it seems like they can bend the rules. So. Yeah. It's a little corruption.
It's because Coriander can't stay away from a party. He loves it.
He loves it. He loves
a party.
Okay. Well, and as we, I think we can announce this here. As far as theme goes, we are going to allow the audience to vote on the theme. Each Audran is going to propose a theme, and we're going to be doing a vote for everybody who's backed the Kickstarter at the voting level, which I can't remember that off the top of my head.
It's $35 and higher.
35. So if you are at 35 and up when the Audrans, the various Audrans, propose their themes, you're going to be able to look those over, and you are going to be able to vote for your favorite. So, if you want the Black Audran Spooky Ghosts and Skeletons theme, hey, guess what? You can get that theme in there with the power of democracy, and we absolutely love to see it. We do not know what the themes are yet. Those themes are going to be proposed as though they were from characters from those Audrans. We don't have a system for how that's working out yet, but you will be able to watch our couriers come up with the prom theme at some point. So, ooh, Aaron, you looked like you wanted to talk for a second.
No, I'm very excited. I full transparency, I didn't know we're doing that.
Surprise!
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, that's what the kids call lit. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that is one of the things. We were trying to get this prom poster from Jess, the official artist for Courier's Call, and it's like, we don't know the theme yet, so we're trying to figure out that system because we don't want to be mean to Jess and be like, oh, by the way, it's Spooky Ghosts and Skeletons.
By the way, add a bunch of Spooky Ghosts.
By the way, you need to do 4 posters, each for every Audran.
Oh my god.
Glass Hedgehog
$40,000
asks, how will voting be announced? That will probably be through the Kickstarter page. Like we will, I don't know if it'll be through a Kickstarter survey because I think we'll need to send out surveys earlier than that. So like
we'll find a way to do it.
We will find a way to do it. We'll make sure those votes are tabulated. And also, like, you know, these kids have a whole adventure to get to before prom is a glimmer in our eye. So we will work that out. Like all things with Skyships, we'll figure it out in the air when we've already launched. So yeah, we will address the question of theme later. This one comes to us from Phil W. Chung, and Phil has actually asked us several questions. The first is, besides the other members of the squad, who among the Red Audran crew have you become closest to? Now, again, I am pointing out this is out of character. So, you know, Aaron Kitano Saez, which of the fictional characters on the crew have you become closest to?
Oh, on the crew, I really like Bran, but I love Captain Dennison. Captain Dennison is one of my favorite characters just because he is, as my character sheet says, my cool pirate uncle. And that's my relationship with Captain Dennison. But like, I don't know, there's just so much mystery about him. And he's very patient with the children, which is something that, like, one, I know is a great choice, but also, like, when you're playing with Captain Dennison, it's so much fun that I, like, you want to hang out with him. Like, I want to, like, get dinner with Captain Dennison and just pick his brain. Right? Because he's
Just
been
wine
there.
and dine Captain Dennison.
I want to wine and dine Captain Dennison. It is official.
My Dinner with Denny, starring Aaron Kitano Saez.
Taking him to Denny's. Captain Dennison and I are going to Denny's.
No, don't
Get
take
that
it to
BOCO. Get
Denny's.
that bonus content.
Gotta.
Oh my gosh.
Dinner with
Yeah.
Denny.
Hey, look, if you get us to 21,000 on Kickstarter, we will produce the Aaron Kitano Saez has dinner at a Denny's with Captain Dennison
Live.
Welcome.
Bonus
Recorded
content.
live at a Denny's.
We'll
I will
absolutely do that.
fly to Chicago.
Yes.
Dinner with Captain Dennison.
We will spend all the $1,000 extra dollars that we got making it happen, but it will happen.
Oh my god.
Great.
Oh man.
What about everybody else?
For me, it's Bran. I've gotten really close to Bran, doing all the Dear Red Audrins and having Bran come in and like knock on the doors and like be there for the kids. I love him. He's so cool. And he's also just really. It's been fun as the guy who created him. I have gone back and like figured out stuff about Bran, and been like, oh, he's so cool. He was it's so good, and I can't wait to like bring him into other things and like do more Dear Red Audrins and just be Bran for a bit as well. Be fun.
Palomi, Allie, what do you
I was
think?
gonna say Bran too. Like, for a lot of the same reasons, I feel like he's just kind of that sort of guy where you're in a new situation, you kind of gravitate to the nicest person in the room, and that's Bran. He's just a cool dude.
True. It's true.
What about you, Allie?
Well, I love Bobby Jean.
Yeah.
Now this
Like-
is the clutch play.
I-
That's the correct answer.
Yeah,
Oh,
but-
yeah. Have a bunch of fun hanging out with Bran. Ooh, I'll bet you'll get great conversation out of Captain Dennison, the guy who famously loves to talk to people. No, it's Bobby Jean. It's
is
always
Bobby
been Bobby Jean.
It's all about Bobby
Bobby
Jean.
Jean. It's all about Bobby Jean's mullet and his sleevelessness.
Mm-hmm.
My sleeves got bit off by a condor.
Bit off by a condor.
I as a player love Bobby Jean because listening to Bobby Jean do stuff makes me feel like an audience member. Like, does that make sense?
Truth.
Like, it removes me entirely from the situation and puts me in that place of wonder and disbelief. And I love that. I love that about him.
Oh, well,
have to agree.
that's very sweet. I appreciate that a lot.
How about you, James? Who did you get close to this?
Yeah, James.
I really like. I have been trying to think through. I am gonna forget who was the former captain of the Red Audran.
Oh, Jaegerman.
Jaegerman. Yeah,
Oh,
I feel
Jaegerman.
like I could jam with Jaegerman. Jaegerman
He's very
is
cool.
like if you're not. I feel like I can't select Bobby Jean, but Jaegerman like. I just love an adult who is nice, you know?
Yeah.
And like who really values that about themselves, like clearly. I don't know. That's very nice. And I need positive mentors in my life. So yeah. Moving on to Phil's next questions. If Courier's Call had a 90s-esque TV opening credits, what would be some of the scenes in the montage for your character?
So, quick side note, I love this question because every time I listen to all of the kids' playlists, that is exactly what I visualize.
Yeah, this is a tough one because like, there are a lot of genres of opening credits that we could jump to here. Like my first is always anime. It's always anime, but they really, this is 90s cartoon. So I'm assuming they mean US animation. So we don't get to do cool, dramatic, Cruel Angels thesis stuff. We have to.
We do have Thundercats. Well, that's not 90s. Dang.
Yeah, it's not 90s. It's not 90s. Like we have like angry beavers. We can do.
Yes.
Does the question say it has to be animated? Because my brain went to Full House.
Oh,
I went
let me
to
see.
Power Rangers.
Courier's Call had 90s-esque TV opening credits. Okay, so this could be live action.
Open.
It's
Okay.
good.
The only rule is the 90s.
All right. Yeah. So for June, we're gonna have like a panning shot of her like learning combat stuff in a dojo kind of situation.
God.
And then we're gonna have a shot of her like sneaking out of the house and like, climbing down the back window. And then we're gonna definitely have the Free Willy shot of her on a rock punching the air and the Saker Falcon flying up behind her the way Free Willy
Nice.
does the breach. That was as specific as I could be.
That's very specific.
No,
I feel like that's quite specific.
incredible.
Okay, great.
Who else has got one?
So
No, pull on me. No, pull on me. You go first, please. We're very excited. Go.
Pull on me.
we're
You
all
want
very
initiative.
excited. So I feel like for Kieran, there's three things. One, I definitely see them like it's that scene in Aladdin where there's just the big old thingamajig in the center of the screen and then somebody's head just slightly popping out over it. That's Kieran. I think there's definitely got to be like that like just stereotypical like hanging off of the rigging, wind in hair, like a sea foam in the background, sailor shot, a kind of thing, and then maybe just skulking. I feel like Kieran would definitely just we're broadcasting the fact that they skulk.
Well, I mean, do you think we get a shot of like I'm envisioning like a shot of like the camera is panning down the hallway of the Audran as if it were the hallway of a high school, right? Or a middle school. And then it comes to rest on Kieran sitting on the ground with their back to their locker, drawing in the sketchbook. Like
I feel like Kieran would be in the locker and Kieran puts himself there.
For sure. It's not locked.
I love it.
It's just it's a safe space to draw, like a nice contained box.
That's nice.
Good for your posture.
Yeah, incredible for your posture. Can't get enough.
Sorry, you go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. So mine would be Cece has the Excalibur fishing rod and she's like carving through like legions of demons and monsters.
Yep.
And then it cuts to her in her classroom when like school is over drawing all of these things.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
She's like on top of a pirate ship and like has a flaming sword and you just see like the scribbled drawings in a notebook as like kids leave the classroom and she's behind. Yeah.
I love it.
That's my part. That's my section.
My brain immediately goes to the 90s cartoon SWAT Cats.
Yes. Okay, sorry. I got really excited about
like we're
SWAT
talking like heavy like electric guitar playing in the background, and it's just the Audran. It's just the red Audran like flying like
just
it was
a
doing
meaty bass riff in the background.
just meaty bass riff, and like it's just them flying around and doing sick airship stunts, like we did the Zell's twin arc, and then at the end it's like all of them like on the bow of the ship, like Courier's call.
That's cool.
Courier's call.
That's cool.
That's what I got.
It. Awesome. I got really excited about SWAT Cats.
It's a great show.
I loved that show. I wrote fan fiction about that show.
Stream is sponsored by SWAT Cats, sponsored by Time Machines and SWAT Cats.
Sponsored by Time Machines and the Wayback Machine.
Find it on YouTube, I assume.
Yeah, you can find the whole thing on YouTube.
Question 3 is, has your character picked up any habits or superstitions from being on a skyship?
Skulking.
You skulked before.
Oh, you picked that up,
true.
did you? Yeah.
That's true. No, I feel like Kieran has probably they're a creature of routine, so I think they have their little rituals and their ablutions before they go out and do the work and come back and kind of relax and chill out. And I think they're probably the kind of person who gets really disrupted when those routines get interrupted, which is all the time on a ship because everything is unpredictable. So Kieran's very stressed out these days. I mean, more so than usual.
Oh, I have one. Cece's superstition is before the Audran takes off, like just when it's about to lift off, she holds her hands like a frame and takes a mental snapshot of the place they're leaving so she can remember it.
Cece is perfect.
Cool.
That's great. I love that.
Cece is perfect.
Flawless.
I know that actually Jaegerman has wings tattooed on his heels, which is a superstition he picked up. The idea being that if you have wings on your heels, you'll always fly. So he has 2 on each heel, little wings tattooed.
That's cool.
That's really good.
Cool.
Sick.
That's awesome.
I feel like if June has picked up some kind of like habit or superstition, that it has to do with like which knots are used for what. Like obviously there are certain knots that are used for specific things all the time.
That's called the process.
Right. But I feel like there's like the way the birds get tacked up to go fly, that everybody has like a specific way they like to do things. Like, do you put the saddle on first and then, or like how, like in what order do you do it, and with what knot do you tie off like the ropes and the reins and stuff like that? Like I feel like June has started to develop a specific superstition. Like this knot is called the whatever, and it's lucky. So if it helps you communicate with the bird or something like that, you know what I mean? Like I'm thinking about it in terms of like horsemanship, that like there are specific ways people like to do certain things.
And I want to drill down, that wasn't something that June did when she was on the ground.
I don't think so. I think she just did, everything was by rote when she was back home in Thornvale and on the ground. And now that I think she's learning other ways to do things and learning that you can kind of choose how you get to do something as an individual, that she's developing that habit.
Cool.
Doing it her way.
Very cool.
The final question is just for Drew.
Oh.
Not all apprentices come from Thornvale, but do they all come through Thornvale to join the courier service?
Ooh.
Or are other hubs where Audrans meet up for novice fairs?
So yeah, we were talking about this a little earlier. I think being on an Audran is a big honor. It's not all couriers end up on Audrans.
Hashtag not all couriers, yeah.
Not all couriers. And it's it's a big honor to do it, and it's a fast track, I think. So like the courier service isn't like 1,000 people or anything. There's like maybe 125 people kind of working for the courier service. It's relatively small, but they have a big area. So if you get to go on an Audran, it's a big thing. But there's plenty of times where kids from big cities or small towns, they'll get picked up. They're like, I got nowhere else to go. Maybe you can teach me a trade.
Well, I mean, yeah, Bobby Jean didn't come from Thornvale for sure.
Yeah,
true.
We know Bootstrap.
Neither did Ruby.
True.
Like that's
Do
the
we
thing.
know where Ruby's from? Sorry, James.
No, we haven't given the place a name yet. And we were flirting with making that Black Pebble Beach. So like,
that would be very good. I got the damn.
But the thing that struck me about it, like especially when you think of someone like Bootstrap getting incorporated into the courier service, it feels like that occasionally you do just like at a captain's discretion take on someone at another place. Like they have this whole foundling thing. And I don't think they're like conscripting foundlings into the courier service.
Hey, you kid. Yeah.
Certainly they can like join the courier service if they want to, it seems like.
Yeah. And I think that's a question that a postmaster will ask an apprentice that they have. They're like, you can stay here in the post office and you can work for as long as you want to, and then you can move on. But to ask was like, hey, do you want to go to Thornvale and maybe get on an Audran? And like that's a thing. And I don't think it's something that they're asking like every kid that walks to the door. It's a particular kid that they're like, that's a special one. I see something in that one. And those are the ones that get to end up. So Bobby Jean, Bootstrap, they all kind of have the right stuff. They have what it takes to go on an Audran and do that.
Yeah,
and
because like we do know from Bootstrap still went through like the novice fair and the ceremony. So like even if you're coming from another place, like you still go through the same process. It's just easier if you're coming from Thornvale, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that answers the question.
All right. Well, this next one comes to us from Jess Kaczynski, the Angry Artist 113, the official artist for Skyjack's Courier's Call. If you like down below this banner that we did for the Kickstarter, that's actually stuff that we did for last season. We have we're getting brand new art from Jess. Y'all, like, I would love to. It's the opposite way, Drew.
The other way, Drew.
I would love to like use that art as a carrot for more stretch goals, but we already hit all those stretch goals. Y'all were already too excited to see more of his art. So like you are going to get brand new art. It is going to be very cool. But Jess wanted to ask us, what are each of the kids' favorite non-bird animal?
Ooh.
I gotta be non-bird.
Animals.
Non-bird.
A non-bird. That's a big one.
No wings, no feathers.
This is a
Use
hard
Pokemon.
mode question.
Can
for
we
Drew.
use Pokemon?
Do birds?
Pokemon exist in the context of Skyjacks? I don't think so.
Oh, dang. I was trying. No.
I can tell you Brand's favorite animal.
All right. Yeah, hit us with brands.
Brand's favorite animal are sheepdogs. He loves dogs. They're his favorite animal, but he has his family has particularly like sheepdogs that he loves to death. I think he has a little cord like around one of his wrist that's braided with like, bits of dog hair that he's like braided together to make a bracelet so he can remember his dogs from back home.
Yeah, I definitely, with my dog, feel like I get enough hair off of them that I could bring
100%.
all sorts of
little
ropes.
babettes.
They go with you no matter where you go. So
I'm gonna go with an axolotl.
oh,
That's pretty good.
That face.
Cursed.
Haunted. How can you deny
Aquatic.
that face?
Aquatic.
Well, it's
True.
but this is a pod child from Thornvale, and
True.
That's
axolotl
true.
are
I know.
freshwater, so
Yeah.
definitely, like Cece could have known axolotls, many
True.
friendly.
Cece's read a lot of books. There's
She's
a
read
lot of
every animal book.
every animal book. The kind
Every
where the
single
pictures
one.
pop out.
well, when you're mayor
Yes.
of Kidtown,
You got to
You
know
have
all
to.
Yeah.
legally.
There's
You-
a quiz to become the mayor of Kidtown
Yeah.
about
wrote
animals.
Kieran wrote it, and Cece was like, "You all must take this test to live in Kidtown." Slammed her scepter down. Clang.
What's the scepter made of?
Oh, the scepter. Oh, lordy. The
Foil.
scepter
It's just
is,
foil.
is made out
cardboard.
of a lot of it's paper mache, but it's
Ooh.
painted to look like it's painted to look like wood.
So Cece makes the clang sound, is what I'm
Yes.
hearing.
Clang. It's good wood. It's good wood right there.
That's good. That's
The
exactly
thorn
That's,
wood
how
that's
wood
the
should
official
sound.
Foley artist of Kidtown.
And the mayor, look at her, Renaissance woman.
just Johnny in the corner, like.
What of Kieran? What is Kieran's favorite?
I think Kieran's favorite animal is probably that's a bird.
Yeah, it is non-bird, and that is the one
it is.
rule
That's true.
that we kind of
That's
have.
the one rule that we kind of decided on. I think it's boars. I think it's wild boars.
Yeah, whoa.
It's something that they did a little hunting for. I think we talked about that in season 1, but one comes to respect the animal one hunts, especially when wild boars can kill you. I know too many wild boar facts, and this may not be the forum to share them, but the whole 30 to 50 wild boars meme, my favorite one.
Yeah.
Top.
Follow-up questions on that. Were boars like a thing that Kieran encountered in Thornvale? Or
In Jiltara.
Jiltara.
They were all running around in the tall grass. They're like raptors, except with tusks.
so the Jiltarans have to war with the Mariner to
Yeah,
live, and
deal with
wild boars.
30
to 50 wild boars.
Damn.
on any given day.
They're so
Okay.
bad. They're so bad.
They're not hungry, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I was just listening to like episode 17 again to try to remember everything that I said. And you said that you and your mom went out to like hunt a boar.
Yeah.
And now knowing that,
Yeah.
that is unstoppable family. Most unstoppable
The
family.
Jiltarans. Those
No.
Jiltarans.
I mean, that must have been like a Jiltaran strategy. Like when drowned sailors made a landing on one of the islands one time, it's like, oh
Just
no, we just
release.
attracted we released the boars. They can
Release
fight
them.
the boars.
Just bring him into the long grass.
I think it's you learn to use your harpoons on the boars because that's the only land mammal that's gonna like you can't do that to a chicken, it'll explode.
Yeah, harpoon is the only language that wild boars respect anyway.
It's true. That's 100% true.
It's true.
Can't confirm.
Allison. Non-bird. Really
Good
want
luck.
to emphasize that. Really want to underscore that. This is
No talons.
June's favorite non-bird animal.
I don't think June knows that anything other than birds exists.
Here's some information.
No,
There are
because
animals
June-
other than birds.
June did have to take Cece's Kidtown animal test.
Oh,
so
that's true.
June does
That's
know.
true. She is aware of other creatures.
What
in
type of bird is a snake?
A terrible one.
Yeah.
Um,
Wrigglebird.
okay,
really bad bird?
so I feel like Thornvale is a safe place, and
Correct.
June has never seen one in person. Just like knows about it from books and from Cece's Kidtown animal test. which now we have to make Cece's Kid Town animal test.
We do.
On that quiz site or something.
We have to.
Set up a BuzzFeed quiz.
Yeah.
Can you be mayor of Kid Town?
Are you qualified?
Nah, you're Ard. You're 30. What are you doing here?
You're not.
Ard, get out!
So June has never seen one in person, but if she had, I think it would potentially go to war in her heart for the prized spot against all bird kind, and that animal is the wolf.
Oh, June.
Yeah, that
Hungry
tracks.
like that?
100%.
If June had ever seen a wolf in real life, she would be like,
On all levels except physical, I am a wolf.
yeah.
I cannot wait for in test shirt for June to find the 3 Wolf Moon t-shirt.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is-
That would be perfect.
Fun money.
Fun money getting
Spend
spent.
your fun
Hashtag
money
fun
on
money.
that.
Getting
My
spent.
allowance.
Yup.
Your fun money.
Y'all are not ready for fun money.
Season
That's
2.
great. That's great. We love it.
Season 2 has fun money. Tune in.
So there we are on favorite non-bird animals. Thank you very much, Jess. That was
That was
a
an incredible
difficult
Well,
question.
I had
We
a
had
hard
to
time
think
with that.
about
We're on
that,
our heels.
and-
We're on our heels.
Yeah.
So the next one comes to us from Raffi the Owl. Out of all the Skyjacks characters known so far, who would be the best and the worst mentors for the Courier's Call kids? And I think this includes the larger Skyjacks Prime podcast.
Oh gosh.
I would like to go ahead and say the worst mentor. I would like to argue that the worst mentor would probably be Spit.
Yes. I mean, well, actually,
With a hard second place for Jerk Off Jerry.
okay. Jerk Off Jerry is absolutely the worst.
100%.
And really
100%.
should not
the
be
worst.
mentioned within a certain, like 300 yards of Courier's
Heaven,
Call.
lumens forbid that our sweet kids ever even find out about Jerk Off Jerry.
I am going to say that Spit probably wouldn't be the worst. I mean, Spit is Ormar at least trusted Spit to, manage bringing kids on, like the orphans on board the Uhuru. So I don't think Spit is the worst and like seeing Spit interact with Jonnet, like that
It's pretty
seems
sweet.
like it's, yeah.
Okay, that's a fair point. I guess my concern is Spit, can you confirm, James, that Spit is like cursed in some way to have to say it's sexual every 5 seconds, or like what's
He
the
only
ratio for
says it. He only says that when it is sexual, and he's pointing that
it's
out.
a lot though.
That's a self-defense. that allows people, that enables. That's almost a content note from
Okay.
Spit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I'm not arguing that Spit is great. I'm arguing that Spit is not one of the worst because Travis Madigo is also, on this list.
He's on the list.
The
Yeah.
broker is on this list. Like it is a long
come
list.
on.
Very long list. It's a very long list.
JD Lightfell is on this list.
May I submit for worst Captain Brian Baru?
Oh, yeah.
Brian would not be
And
a
Ku
good
Cullen also.
Ku Cullen.
He believes that the purpose of teens is to be mocked. That's not a good belief.
That's not the best.
Is
might be
wait,
bad one.
wait. Is Ku Cullen by that statement alone, is Ku Cullen the Johnny of Cobra Kai in Sphere in this situation? Like if Ku Cullen had the right protege come along, for example.
Oh, interesting. Could you change his heart? I feel like trying to map Cobra Kai onto the Skyjacks universe. It's
a
its own
dangerous-
stream. It's its
yeah.
entire
It's a dangerous
stream
question.
Yeah.
unto itself.
That's a very deep well.
I just
Yeah.
thought I'd ask,
Yeah.
while we were on the
Yeah,
topic.
I mean, we'd have to sort out which luminary represents evil karate, and it's just so complicated.
Evil karate for evil.
Stretch goal next time.
So yeah, we've had some good running for the worst. I'm assuming Palomi and Aaron do not listen to the main show for Skyjacks.
Oh, I was gonna say Kieran's father is probably a candidate for worst. He's an idiot.
Ooh. But Palomi, have you considered? He's so hot.
He's so hot though.
There's not
so
hot. There's
How
not
could he be flawed
behind those eyes?
we don't need him to think.
That's true. He doesn't need to think. He just needs to act. But I feel like that's not great to teach teens. You gotta.
It's true.
You gotta think critically.
Yeah, that's why. Like mine is Jonnet is my best mentor because Jonnet's a kid who's like done a lot of adult things that Cece thinks she wants to do.
Ooh, interesting.
And like Jonnet faces adult consequences and Cece doesn't. So I think it's a good experience for Cece to be like, I'm good actually in Thornvale. You did magic and that's what happens to you?
Oh God!
Oh God, I'm good.
Big emoji.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, cool. Suddenly these knots are suddenly so fun. I can't wait to deliver the mail. Yeah,
I never want to leave the land now. Great.
Yes,
Great.
1000%. That's the best mentor. And Travis would be the worst for Cece because Travis would be like, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. The feedback loop there would be
it's strong.
Nightmarish.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Yeah, we had a lot of worst candidates.
Best.
Mm-hmm.
Margaret.
Well,
that's
all. It's almost cheating. It's almost cheating to say Margaret.
Does she not count? Can we not say Margaret?
I mean, she's such a good mentor for everybody.
No,
I feel like
she
that's
doesn't
just
deserve
the
to have
answer.
all of that put on her. She really doesn't. Like, if she wants to, sure, but we're not going to make her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, for a price, that's the best thing about Margaret is all you have to do is be able to pay.
That's true.
I would contend best mentor for the kids, if they could get him, is Coriander.
Ooh. Yeah. It's hey, good mentor if you can get it.
Yeah, if you can get him to mentor you.
If you can
Very
book him,
busy
if you can
man.
get him on
Very
Cameo.
busy man.
If you could, I mean, if you could shell out the Benjamins to bring in Coriander. Like,
I am gonna say best mentor category or Marvale.
oh
Here's
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
If he has set his mind to it, you're gonna turn out fucking great.
Awesome.
I swore. No.
You swore.
Oh, you did.
No.
You betrayed us all.
No.
You betrayed us all today not to swear. You did so much. You told Aaron not to swear. You told Aaron to shoot him into the moon. No, Aaron. Aaron, sit down. Sit down, Aaron. Aaron.
Yeah,
Take a deep breath.
Get a
Take a
token.
deep breath.
Aaron's
Good
allowed to cuss as much as he wants now. Because
What?
Hey, no.
I will not.
Absolutely
This
not.
is a kids. This is a kids program.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
The portal has been opened.
But before we move on, any other good mentors out there? Good fun mentors.
I can only speak for my character, but I know that it's a very similar theme. But I always think that Gable is who Cece wants to be when she grows up.
Oh yeah.
Indestructible. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Raise your hand if also true.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. Like this is like
Infinitely
the
tall.
coolest-
Yes, please.
The coolest being that has ever existed. It's so literally and figuratively they are larger than life in everything, and those speech patterns are so cool that I feel like Cece would be just mystified. Like and just the mystery in the air. Like, come on, everybody in the chat knows that they want to like get dinner with. They want dinner with Gable.
Mm-hmm.
It's the sequel to Dinner with Denny.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just an entire
Criterion collection.
sub show where it's Cece has dinner with somebody.
Does it have to be an
It's
adult?
Cece's podcast.
I don't think it has to be. I mean, Jonet's not an adult. Like,
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Bobby Jean would be a great mentor.
Oh.
Bobby Jean's got such a positive attitude.
Guys,
I'll teach
guys.
all the ropes, all the secret places to sleep
We
where
were in
no
a rained
one
in
checks
cave,
very frequently.
And Bobby Jean was
I
trying
love that
so
joke so
hard.
Oh.
All right.
Robert Jonathan. Love that kid.
This one comes to us from a magical girl, Kira. What world-altering spell did Cece pick as her capstone for reaching level 99 Dragon Wizard? I'm torn between Step Between Thoughts and Golden Sunfire.
What world-altering spell?
Yeah.
I actually have an answer locked and loaded for that. Cece actually started the Grail War from the Fate series. So if you're familiar with Fate Zero, Cece actually finds the Holy Grail at level 99, and it starts the Holy Grail War, and she starts summoning spirits to fight for it just for her own entertainment. And then when she gets the Grail, she actually is kind of torn because like it's not what she wanted, but she gets to hang out with Arthur Pendragon, who is a cool lady.
All right. There we go.
I think what we've learned here is that anime is the best mentor.
Anime is the best mentor.
Done. Love it.
This one comes to us from Runes77. The squad had a harrowing brush with the Forest Queen's domain. Can we expect other specific luminaries to take stage in season 2?
Really, I think that's up to them.
Yeah.
On if they're going to engage with luminaries or not, although we did recently talk, everyone that listens to the show has kind of heard it, where we talked about Aaron, about Cece building her own deck. And so there is a lot of opportunity for lumens to come into play and stuff like that. Although I don't think, like last season, the Forest Queen was kind of the big bad, kind of just like waiting in the woods, in the wings kind of thing. I know that I have not planned that for season 2 to have a luminary do that, but you never know. These kids, I mean, I didn't know that that Kieran was gonna invoke the butcher during the Jolly Jack adventure. We didn't know that, and it happened. So you never know.
I feel like we've been talking about a lot of the luminaries behind the scenes too, just kind of figuring some other stuff out. Like, they play a pretty big role, and they're still part of how we play the game. So you know, even just to decide simple things like, all right, what are we doing in the downtime between season 1 and season 2? We drew cards, and it fucked things up. Oh no!
Oh no!
You're out. You're out.
Sorry.
Oh no!
Time
It
out.
just happened.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Yeah. Oh.
Mute your mic for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm shadow banned from the stream.
The thing about luminaries, I think, is that really the luminaries will tell us. So I'm just gonna draw real quick which luminary
James, no.
is gonna harass these people. That is gonna be nope, that one's a broken luminary. So the sovereign tried to claw his way out again. That ain't gonna happen. You dead, bud. Gable stabbed you in the heart. Let's see. It's the soldiers. They're coming for you.
Oh man.
This question, I am going to abuse my power as host here and force Aaron to answer a variation of this question.
Okay.
GM Jeff Stormer asked, which of the 5 major reasons of fantasy would Cece most want to visit and why? This now is you have to assign to your castmates for June and Kieran as well. Where are you going to send them for a vacation in fantasy? What is this? This is a long weekend vacation. They get 3 days.
3 days.
Okay.
I know what I want, but I want to see if Aaron's gonna say it.
Okay. So June Hymnal. June Hymnal is going to there's an aerial city in fantasy called Barometris. It's floating in the sky, and you fly around on gliders and to get around. That is where June goes.
That's dope.
Kieran is going to this place called the Long Hall of the Defeated, which are where basically some people who, if you die in a town called Ravensloft, you can go to the Long Hall of the Defeated, and if you fight your way out through ghosts and puzzles, you get to come back to life.
Ooh, that sounds fun and terrifying.
But yeah, I got really excited about that. Thank you for letting me do that. Where did you want to go?
Yeah, where's Cece going?
Cece is going to the Circus of Misery, which
You're
is
really going to the Circus
You're
of
gonna
Misery?
fight Shao Clown.
I thought
She's
that
gonna
was
fight Shao Clown and go through the Circus of Misery.
Shao Clown's gonna catch these hands.
Shao Clown has no chance against Cece.
Correct.
Cece
That's
is
correct.
incorruptible.
However,
Absolutely.
if the Howdy Man shows up, you have to call June in. You have to call June in as your second.
Howdy. No
Howdy.
problem. Howdy.
Goodness.
That makes me very happy.
Dude, completely unimpressed with
I was
Howdy.
gonna say, I, Allie Grauer, personally very much want to go on vacation to Moon Crescent. Just so much. I love Moon Crescent.
For those
Listen
who,
to All My Fantasy Children.
yeah. For those who wonder what we're talking
Yeah.
about, these are regions of a fictional universe that Aaron Catano Saez and Jeff Stormer dreamed up together and continue to dream up together through the podcast All My Fantasy Children. So if you want to enjoy that question as much as we did, you have to go listen to that.
Yeah.
So let's finish out these Twitter questions, shall we? We've got a series coming to us from Lark Elizabeth, and let's see here. I'm just we'll let Drew answer this. What is school like on an Audran ship?
Oh, yeah, I actually just talked about this recently. One of the 3 shifts on the Audran, in the air at least, the captain is the instructor, and so he has a shift where he is instructor, and at any point he can like show up to your work and be like, hey, do you need to learn anything? Do you need to help with anything like that? And he can, or he or she or they can help you. You can also go to the captain at any time during those like office hours and ask questions and learn things. And there's also, when they're on the ground, there is dedicated school. There's like a couple hours every day where they like sit in a classroom and the captain answers questions, teaches them things, basic things, reading, writing, arithmetic, that kind of stuff, but also lore. Also like, eat this, not this. See this person? This person is bad news. Not like Mariner bad news, but like pretty bad news, as he points to Jolly Jack.
Yeah. Which you can
and
find out
that's-
more about on the One Shot Patreon.
And watch our Patreon. Get that.
Patreon.com.
And actually, I think
/ One Shot
premiering
Podcast.
did it premiere?
It
this
did. It
week?
came
The
out
first episode.
yesterday. First
Yep.
episode came out yesterday.
And episode 2 will be not next week, but the week after that.
Which
And
is
then
the
that's
last-
it.
That's
for
it.
now.
You gotta look in the secret archive if you want.
From after that.
more. Yeah.
And you're gonna want it.
Guys, we haven't been going to school.
Yes, we have.
We haven't
have.
seen it. We haven't seen them go to school, but you have been going to
School
school.
in Otter
I want to know which subject our kids are each best at.
Oh.
It can
None
be
of
your
them.
favorite subject. It might not be your favorite subject, but you are best at one of them, I am sure, because what I believe about the Swiftwell Courier Service, I have no idea if this is true, and Drew can immediately refute me if he wants to, but they believe in a holistic educational process. They are teaching different learning styles, so even if you are would not be comfortable in traditional school, there is something that you can and will be good at. June, I mean, like, you're probably good at like the phys ed equivalent or whatever. So like, let's not, don't put yourself in a situation of like, oh, I'm not good at anything, because the Swiftwell Courier Service, they're going to find what you're good at and encourage it, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
What's everybody good at?
I have a thought.
Hit me.
And Cece is that ILA student. This is the English class literature student who's very passionate about like talking about what she feels that poem was about. And I have a lot of strong feelings about writing poetry and expressing myself in the written word. I feel like that is Cece's favorite. Cece loves reading literature and talking about what it means and what she felt, and looking at a piece of art and being like, I don't know, it just made me feel very, very alive or very sad. That's what I think. That's my honest answer. It's not like the joke
I like
answer. It's like
that.
that Cece is genuinely like looking forward to reading poems with
I
her
love
friends.
that.
That makes sense.
Who teaches the literature class then, Drew?
Dedison has a very eclectic education. There are poems where he's like, this one in particular gets me every time. And that's like a thing. If there's ever a moment where they're like, let's hear something, and he can like pull out his book of poetry. It's like in the galley, be like, let's read this poem. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood. And like
Fantastic.
he does love poetry. That is something I did make for him. It's like he does love poems.
That makes me very happy to know that like the Red Audran has this the softer side of Sears, but like really because it's like tough manual work. I like knowing that the captain is like a tender individual, not just like because we're children. You know, I like it.
He's seen a lot of shit. I mean, oh,
Drew!
You're out too. Mute that mic. You know.
Gosh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. I don't know what's so
why we
hard about not
talked about
swearing.
this.
I don't know
we
what's
knew.
going on here.
We're redirecting. Everybody, focus your attention away from the bad word that you just heard towards Jess tweeted a image of Gable meeting Cece, and it's delightful.
It's
and
incredibly good.
Everybody in chat, think about that, and do not think about cussing because we don't endorse it.
It's delovely. I love it so much.
It's delovely.
Good.
Self-expression that we encourage, art. Self-expression we don't encourage, cusses.
No.
Exactly.
What about Kieran? What subject is Kieran good at?
I feel like really early on we talked about Kieran being a good like traditional student, a very good rote learner, somebody who enjoys facts and collecting them and hoarding them. But I think probably if there is a subject that kind of deals with basic magical science, even if it's just like, you know, alchemical theory or something, Kieran would be all over that, because it's you feel it out, but then you also use math and you also use your brain to make sense of it. I think Kieran would be really attracted to something like that. Just you know, using that noggin to solve problems.
Drew, who teaches either alchemical theory or I'm going to say apothecary could probably be a good analog for that. Who teaches that on the ship?
It's got to be Winchwind.
Potions.
Winchwind would probably teach that, and math too.
Yeah.
And like I said, the captain becomes instructor, but the senior staff they also rotate the instructor's position. So at any time, like it's a holistic way of doing education.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that.
I'm getting called out in the chat that you can't tell me that Bobby Jean doesn't swear. Bobby Jean does Honey Smoke Mountain swears, which are a lot more colorful and alliterative and like illusory. Like they are like, bless my biscuits, you know, that it's walking up to a swear, but not jumping over that line, or giving, you know,
colorful colloquialisms.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
In a peach pit.
It's that bless your heart type stuff.
Bless your heart.
Burnt sugar. Yeah, but he will get chastised as though he's saying a for real cuss if he says something like burnt sugar. So like that is Bobby Jean's background. They're all pod kids, baby. June.
Yeah.
What is your subject? Yeah. It's happening. You're good at something.
School.
You're not I get it. Allie, you're not like other girls. I totally understand.
I have a bond with this bird. He's wild.
You want me to read a book?
It's just birds class.
No. No, June is I think that's
I got an A in birds.
So here's what I will say. I will say that June's favorite subject obviously is like aviary
Birds.
like stuff.
Birds.
Right? Bird stuff.
Birds.
The class.
Birds.
June's favorite class is bird stuff, but June isn't perfect at it. June does not get top marks in bird class all the time. I don't think it's like her natural gift. I think that she has to learn and work really hard at it because she loves it. But I think that does Jaegerman teach stuff about like how to do stuff outside of the pod?
Like how to be like so
like
how to talk to people.
I was thinking like leadership and diplomacy, or do you know what I mean? Like how to
don't jump in a lake. Actually,
water bad. Also,
that's just not what we do here. We do not jump in the lakes. They're not good. Yeah, Jaegerman does
something about like world knowledge or something like that.
Yeah, he also teaches like geography and a lot of the other things.
Because I think math is bad. I think remembering stuff about herbs and
herbs
magic stuff is difficult.
The other thing is that all three of the senior staff, they all know weapon disciplines, so like they can teach those to any of the kids if they want.
I think June does well with remembering information in like that world knowledge class, because that's really interesting to her. And I think, I mean, again though, with because that's going to be a part of season 2 is sword lessons, and I don't think that June is great at it right off the bat.
I don't know. She's already pretty good at sticks, though.
It's true.
Oh, sticks, yes. Swords, different. There's a handle. There's a sharp part.
There's a pointy end.
Yeah, it's difficult.
I have a question for June Hymnal.
Okay.
How does it feel to not get top marks in birdology and peebology? However, you know that Fenton Eves has crushed their exam.
Absolutely.
How does that make June feel, knowing that you're like, like a second best bird? You ain't top squawk.
So June would love it if Fenton would
fall
like
in a
turned
well.
Off.
Get transferred.
Oh.
That would be great.
Okay.
Would love it if Fenton fell off a bird.
Permanently.
Fell off a bird. Was Oompa Loompa away. Was
Gone.
raptured. You
raptured.
Wish star fell.
That would be great.
Just, press ganged into a different ship.
Yup.
But June would also like the record to show that just because Fenton is good at something doesn't mean she really cares about it.
Boom.
There you go.
All right, we are into the Kickstarter questions here, because the other questions were wouldn't it be great for Skyjack's characters to cameo on Courier's Call?
Huh.
It sounds like it would be great. Let's move to this one comes from Foerus via Kickstarter. To the cast, what was your favorite moment from season 1 that didn't involve your character directly?
Ooh.
Kieran summoning a stag.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
Come on, nobody did anything that cool the entire season.
It was so cool. Yeah,
that was pretty cool. I think Cece getting Excalibur.
That was cool.
I kind of just bought it, didn't I? Though I just asked for it.
But
like
You
it
got
was
it
in the moon market. It was a game.
No, it was the sword. That's the sword.
She changed. She changed so visibly when she had it. I love talking about how she's walking around with her hands on her hips, like she has a sword, and
she
just.
does.
She does. But then, honestly, the whole Excalibur arc. Frankly,
the Excalibur arc,
got it.
Oh, wow.
And then she sacrificed it for her friends.
Good.
It was
very good.
Incredible.
Oh, shucks, McGee.
I loved that. I have a hard time answering this question specifically because I'm the
you
editor.
only love what you do. Yeah.
No, jeez, because I'm the editor. So every episode I edit, I'm like, this is my favorite part.
Everything's
this is my favorite part. This is the best part of the whole season.
You really just need to point out one moment, then, one thing. It doesn't need to be the best thing. Doesn't need to be your favorite thing. It's just like a thing.
I really enjoyed the part when we were in Otterbox and we were gonna put on a play to tell people that we were here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And close second to that, I loved the a hero is just a sandwich.
That was just a good
gag.
That was just good.
It was good.
Allie, like, no joke. I was like trying to think, like, if I was going to make an animated short of like the Courier's Call TV show, like the pilot thing, it would be them putting on the play. You know, it would be like, we're tasked with this really important thing. How are we going to do it? We're going to put on this play. Like, it feels so the essence of these beautiful children.
It's really good.
I'm glad you pointed that out.
It's a good one.
Palomi.
I mean, there is Cece and Excalibur, but I also feel like there were a couple of moments where the three of them were together. I mean, technically that involves Kieran, but like seeing a giant otter, all of us were like, what is happening?
No.
Those moments of discovery are so cool because they're all doing it together. They're all like clutching each other. It's that Scooby Gang situation.
I
it's
miss
awesome.
making the show. I miss recording.
It's a lot of
like,
fun.
I miss doing this.
I'm gonna do it.
I truly, I mean, I loved that otter moment, especially because on Skyjack's Prime, Jonnet was like fighting the Mariner at that time.
Yeah,
we're just like, what?
These three had like the
pod
scariest moment in their lives, which was seeing a larger than average otter.
Yeah. Correct.
And you know, that's what it's like. That's what it's
of unusual size.
Yeah.
That's
what
it's
it
like
was.
being 14, and then when you turn 15, you are fighting
Mariner.
the Mariner.
Fighting the
Like-
literal Mariner.
I really want everybody who listens to Skyjack's Prime and Courier's Call to remember the closeness in ages to us and Jonnet. And how wild that really is, that we're
Completely
like,
different trajectories.
Mints for goods. Like, our
Let's have
mini
some
games
fun,
That's
are like,
1 year difference. You folks, you're going to be having birthdays soon, and everything's changing. No more pulling punches.
Puberty
Jonnet
hits
levels
hard in Sphere.
Punished Cece.
yeah, right? Like, there's a sentence in like one of the first episodes. It's like Jonnet levels his pistol. And I remember being like, yo, we're like the same age.
Yeah.
One of the first things he did, like within the first 3 episodes, he kills a man.
God, I love Jonnet so much.
God, it cracks me up because I've been
Jonnet's
giggling
fine.
at that for a while, because like I asked Drew like a long time ago, I was like, do we like fight? They're like, not really. And I was like, oh, because like the other kids do.
Can we like?
The kids at the other school do.
Hey, Drew, when do we get to do a murder? The other kids get to do a murder.
Hey, Drew.
When are we stealing stuff from a ship? I want a slice of throat.
When those players are on my show, they don't do murders. So if you want to go be on their show, be my guest. But under this roof, we do no murders.
There are no murders,
Under this
no
roof.
cussing,
Only hijinks. Only
God.
hijinks.
only shenanigans and tomfoolery
And rock throwing.
Oh my god.
and rock throwing.
This is a general question that I don't think people need to specifically address if they don't want to. But are there any mechanical changes that you're excited about now that you're moving on to a new game system?
I feel like our system in general supports, like we found something that supports sort of the narrative beats that we're all really excited about our kids. Like there's stuff that I'm trying to do with Kieran, there's stuff Aaron's trying to do with Cece, there's stuff that Allie's trying to do with June that I think with Fate, we were still trying to figure that out. So we didn't need any sort of mechanical anything for it. But now we're like, all right, we know what we're trying to do. And being able to roll something that's directly related to that thing is going to be really exciting. Going to be like, ooh, all right, how many dice? All right, cool, let's do it.
Yeah. Any other mechanical thoughts? I mean, Drew this was your choice.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about what excites you about it. I'm
Absolutely.
curious.
One of the fun things that I put into, because Cortex Prime is so modular, it's like taking an engine and then just plugging stuff into it to like make it work. And one of the things I plugged in is that as they have like a stress meter, basically. So like as they go up in stress, things happen. But when they go up in a particular stress, like let's say it's afraid, and they're like, well, as you continue to get more and more afraid, eventually, once you hit a particular stress level, you mark off one of your attributes. You can't use it. The idea being that like if you get too afraid, you can't do this particular thing anymore. And as you go along, those things begin to be marked off until all you have left are your relationships. So the idea being, and I love that we can do this mechanically, is that as you get weaker, you have to rely on your friends more. And like
It's
that's
so cool.
That's in the game that we're building. And
I'm ready to max that stuff out.
And
Yes.
so like as I'm so excited to get to those points where they as characters, like we have to like lean on our friends, and like not only just that, but like add our will into the game to lean on our friends and our allies, and like the more people that are behind us, the better we can do. And I'm super excited for stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the storytellers that we have here on this stream, everybody's so good. Like they could have fun and do a great job no matter what system they're using. But I am really excited that what they've created through the Cortex system is going to underscore things that like make this show a special show. I'm so excited to see that work and people to have fun with that through the game system.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have to ask a question to Palomi. Palomi, what led you to decide to create a very martial culture and then make a character from said culture that plays against type? The Jiltarans are really cool, and Kieran is the best bean, and it's interesting to see the moments of contrast between those two things. I'm wondering what your thinking was behind it.
I really like this question. A lot of Kieran's relationship with their culture is based off of my own relationship with Indian and Gujarati culture. Like a lot of being in the middle of two different cultures, and for me it was American culture and Indian culture growing up. You don't ever embody just one. You're kind of just doing your own thing, and you just have more pressure than usual to conform to a certain ideal depending on what that culture dictates. I think with Kieran, it's an exploration of Kieran kind of just finding how they want to engage with being Jiltaran in a safe environment, in an environment where they're being supported by Captain Dennis and by their friends, by people who just want good things for them. However that ends up shaping up, like if they end up being like crack with their harpoon dagger, like great, awesome. If they continue to just be a kleptomaniac, that's something that they get to choose. And they haven't felt the kind of pressure that I have growing up to conform to Jiltaran culture, specifically because their mom didn't want them to. So it's kind of inspired by my experiences being at the vertices of these two cultures meeting.
I have a follow-up question to that. Has Kieran encountered situations where they wanted to learn more about Jiltaran culture and felt like they didn't have access to that because their mom treated it like taboo? Okay.
All the time. Like Amira specifically brought Kieran to Thornvale because Thornvale is a safe place to grow up. Jiltara's not. It used to be like a 12-island system, and now it's a 9-island system because the Mariner's out there screwing things up actively.
And then the hogs. They lost one of those islands just to hogs.
You know?
I think there are things that Kieran wishes they knew, because it's always going to happen. Parents are always just doing the best they can. And it's impossible to be unbiased as a parent. So there's things that Kieran just wants to explore by themselves, and when they encounter, wild Jiltarans out in the world, they're going to have questions. They're going to ask things, and I think that's completely normal for a teen to do.
Cool. Allie, did you plan on June's character arc to be kind of horse girl but giant birds story, or did the full shape develop as you play turn out to be a happy accident? And how did the concept come about generally?
Yeah, no, it was intentional. It was the first thing I said I wanted to do.
Yeah, you were thinking of lying, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were considering.
I was trying to find a way to say it in a cool way. There's not
a horse girl. Allie's a horse girl.
Notable confirmed horse girl.
There's a Discord server that you built.
There is.
With your bare hands.
With these hands.
With those hands.
Confirmed horse girl. It's me. When we were first approached to start creating things and preparing to play in the world of Sphere, I knew immediately that the legendary tale of the horse girl must exist in Sphere for someone.
Yeah.
And it might as well be me. So June Hymnal came about through that desperate and intense desire to share that archetype with the world in a new and weird way. Because birds are weird. Let's get real. Birds are very weird. And June knows that, and June doesn't care. June loves them. So yeah, that was extremely intentional. It was the first thing I decided about my character. The rest of June's personality and sort of backstory and stuff like that came together after that, but fairly quickly. I feel like we didn't spend a whole lot of time, and Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like we didn't spend a whole lot of time hemming and hawing about who June was going to be. I feel like she came together pretty fast.
Yeah.
So yeah. June's a horse girl, but with birds.
I really like that, because I feel like the way I want to say the way the people who shape entertainment culture, movie studios and publishers and whatnot, the way they gate access to that kind of story can sometimes be frustrating. One of my favorite book series growing up was the Animorphs, and the Animorphs let me, as a young boy, have access to very close on horse girl storytelling through a cast of characters with diverse interests and personalities, but still repping something that I think shows up a lot more in fiction that people decide to introduce to young women as opposed to young men. So it is cool that we get this cast of characters, and that a real access point. If you look at the one of the protagonists that if we were on a cartoon show and people were trying to make action figures and market them in certain ways, it'd be well, June's the cool fighter, that's for boys, but we get this cool horse girl story, which I think is really neat. It is a fun way to play against. We're talking about playing against type in Kieran's story, but we get to mess with sort of entertainment dynamics in that, which I really appreciate. I want to move on to the question to Aaron. Aaron.
Yeah.
Cece has felt like someone who gives a lot of her energy away, mostly to support her friends and make sure everyone is feeling and doing their best. What does Cece do to get some of that energy back? How concerned are you that she might give too much?
Ooh.
Okay, this
That's
is a very good
question.
question.
Yeah.
This is a very good question, because I'm glad, first of all, that you're kind of picking up what I'm putting down with this character, because it is so. First answer, Cece does to get energy back. That's Cece time in the morning. I made it a very big point that Cece has time away from everybody, where she has her coffee, has a little snack, and then she's ready. Cece is learning that boundary. I feel from being on the Audran and surrounded by people so often, that I kind of want her to grow into this role of supporter on her own terms. She's there, she's the bard. Oh, you can all do anything. but I also like sometimes need to vanish and have my own time to replenish. Like I kind of see Cece as like an introvert, but knows that this is important to the team and stuff like that. Like she has moments where she's on and having a good time, but also has time where she kind of like, scoots off to have her own regeneration. She gets into her regeneration tank like Goku. But what was
full
it?
Of CC fluids.
Yes, it's full of CC fluids. How can they're pod children? I was speaking literally. How concerned are you that she might give too much? I am. That makes me very happy that you think that she is giving too much, because she totally is. And her level of enthusiasm, while it's great, it kind of caused her to have that breakdown moment when people were like, she's obnoxious after the festive, the play, because she does give too much. She didn't have an off switch. She was like, people like me when I'm on. I get a lot of praise. Oh, I don't. Okay, I need to kind of be more what I want rather than what people are expecting of me. Like, everybody wants Cece to be like, ha ha, all the time. But sometimes she's like, no, I don't really want to do that. And she's learning how to balance people's expectations of her and her own expectations of who she wants to be.
One of the things that is part of this dynamic that I want to point out, because I know Aaron is probably too humble to, one of the cool early conversations that Aaron had about being a player on this show is that he wanted this high energy character to be a character who is focused on building up the rest of the cast. Yeah. I think that is so cool. Like we all know there are plenty of like popular actual plays out there where you've got the high energy fun character that everybody loves to listen to and gravitate towards. The intentional choice to take that position and use that to like spray some of that energy onto everybody else in the cast. Like, it's one of the things that makes the show feel like such a special ensemble show. And I really, really appreciated that choice. And I'm so glad that shows up in your performance. I'm so glad that like the thing that this person noticed is like, yeah, Cece gives energy away. I'm like, damn right, Aaron's performing properly.
Yes. Yay. That makes me, cause like, this character is just such a love letter to 14-year-olds figuring themselves out, and us all in those moments of wanting to be somebody but not being ready, and having friends, and this very very real thing about like, I wish I could tell. It's basically based on that idea that you don't tell your friends enough that you love them. It's like, what if someone was good at that? And like, what does that actually feel like to do all the time? Because you're 14 is like, sometimes you need a hug too. And you need to figure that out. That's like kind of what this is based on. Yeah. Just for fun facts, because this is a Q&A. Yeah, it's literally like, you should call your friends more. Tell them you love them. You should tell your parents you love them more. I'm like, what if somebody was like a stud at that? Like, what if somebody was like on their A game?
So good at it, just like nailing it.
Like really,
just doing it.
The phone. Everybody's in that. What was that? The 5. Remember the family plan? The 5.
Oh yeah.
What if everybody was really good at talking on the 5? Like,
I wish Margaret and Cece had gotten to hang out more. That's very cool. Okay. The next question was to Drew, but it was mostly about the changing systems, and I kind of feel like you already addressed it.
I think we already did.
So I'm going to move on to what character, PC or NPC, from Skyjack's Prime would you most like to hang out with, and why? Alternatively, which would you least like to hang out with, and why? We already know it's Jerk-Off Jerry, and the reasons are obvious. So we can let's focus on positivity here.
Is this in character or out of character?
So this is to the players. Okay. I think it's you, the person.
Okay, cool.
Captain Ormar Vale.
He's so cool.
Cool.
I just want fashion tips, man. Like,
which is
fashion.
It's very interesting because Ormar hasn't been able to pick what he's worn since the entirety of the time that we've known him. Though I will say, part of the audition process, one of the things that we did is we asked people to describe what Ormar would wear to a masquerade ball. Because we kind of wanted to hear what people's ideas were and whatnot. And all of those descriptions were amazing. So you're not wrong. Getting
just
fashion
to raid
tips
the
from
closet
Oromar.
just to see what's in there, because like the clothes had to come from somewhere, right? So it's I feel like there's a lot going on there, and I'm interested, and I want to learn more.
I would subscribe. Yeah.
Subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Like
the bell for notifications.
Smash that like button.
Allie, what about you?
I personally, so Gable is just really cool.
Gable's just really cool. It's fine. You should say it. You're right to say it.
It's really unfortunate, but Gable is really cool. The sword, the Metatron, all of it, it's very cool.
Oh, very good.
I don't think that the player person, me, Allie Grauer, I don't think Gable would like me. I don't think we would get on very well, but I would be very interested to like follow Gable around and like journalist style do a write-up of Gable's day.
I mean, and here's the thing, Allie. Gable doesn't need to like you because Gable already spends all of their time with the person they like the least in the entire world. So
that's true.
You're not like, you can't possibly bother them more.
That's true. That's very true. The other thing I would say is that I feel like Margaret would have a lot of really good like day-to-day tips on how to take care of yourself that I think we could all benefit from emotionally and mentally.
Self-care class.
Self-care, yeah, and like balancing yourself and like being a good person in the world. Margaret seems to be got that pretty much on lock. So I would be very interested to hang out with Margaret. Also tea. I feel like Margaret would be good for like tea and hanging out.
Spilling tea,
drinking, brewing.
Tea. Just a therapeutic chat, frankly.
Yeah.
Aaron, what about you?
I am going with Travis.
Yes!
Yeah,
yes! Aaron woke up and chose violence today.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I want to hang with Travis. Aaron, am like fascinated with the concept of like, if you were even pseudo immortal, like whatever that, you know what I mean? Like that idea, that tragic trope that we all love, like it's like cool, like vampires don't die, changelings age, and it's like that to me is my jam. And I would want to hear just anything from someone with that perspective who has seen so much and experienced so much in terms of loss and joys, that I am very interested in hanging with that person, because it's just kind of that like cynical, tortured soul, a poopy face type of attitude, we'll say that is very appealing to me. Just that it's a sagely wisdom, even if it's disguised by being a poopy face.
Drew, what about you?
So this is gonna sound interesting, but spit. And I know
it's
I have my
sexual.
Reasons. It's sexual. Yeah. Here's the thing. Spit has been everywhere and done everything in more ways than one. And I'm curious to like hear his actual stories. And I don't like, you could go to Travis and be like, oh, you're immortal, I'm sure you have tons of stories, but I don't think you get the real story. I think you would get a lot of half-truths and mostly lies. I think when you talk to Spit, you get only the truth.
And you might not want to hear a lot of it.
And you might not want to hear it. But I would love to hear true stories from being a Skyjack from Spit.
I think that is an excellent choice. I mean, I feel like obviously Margaret is such a strong answer. Like you can't walk away from that without having your life improved a little bit. But barring that, got to go with Otto von Veen.
Oh gosh.
He's the finest cat you've ever seen. Okay. I am going to move on. I'm transitioning the show now. We're entering the final half here.
Ooh, okay.
We are about to enter in character questions.
Yay.
Okay.
So I want everybody to take a moment, summon forth your character. And I suppose I should summon forth a character to ask these questions too. So I'll summon forth a. All right. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh my gosh.
Yay!
June, Kieran, and Cece, I am so excited to ask you these questions. First question. If you were a trainer, what sort of Pokemon would be on your team? I'd love to hear answers from Audran captains as well. But we're going to start with just the kids. What sort of trainer would you be?
Is it can it just be one? Like we're the Elite Four, we have to pick one, right?
Give me a three Pokemon team.
Okay.
Oh, 3 specific Pokemon?
I'm sorry. Were you looking for a team with 3 general Pokemon? At what point? What point in my question did you think I meant non-specific Pokemon?
No. I thought you just meant like what type? Like is the whole team one type for the whole team?
No, you need 3 specific pokes.
I don't know their names. There's so many.
There you go.
I have one. I have my answer.
Yes.
I am gonna go with. I have a very specific kind of taste when it comes to my Pokemon, and I know that I'm rocking with what I love, and so I'm going with Caracosta because that's a big old turtle, and then I'm gonna go with Empoleon because that's a big water steel penguin, just like Mama. Whoop whoop. And also, I'm going to go with Garchomp because Garchomp is like this ground dragon. And then the Garchomp is like super strong and almost OP. Like, you know, they tried to nerf Garchomp a little bit in some generations, but like Garchomp never can quit. Garchomp got a bite that don't quit. And so that's what Cece's team is. Let's go.
Fascinating. You, Kieran, is it?
Yeah, I feel like I like the bug types a lot because I don't think they get enough credit. So I think I'd have a Butterfree on my team, and then I'd have definitely the one with the drills, and it is also a wasp because that sounds terrifying. And then I don't know, I feel like I probably have another bug type. I don't remember all of Pokemon, and there are a lot, and I feel like I'd probably just end up being a bug rancher and not a trainer at all. Final answer.
I'm concerned about your late game strategy.
I don't really feel like Pokemon should fight each other.
Oh, Kieran, come on. It's very like brave of you, but you know, Pokemon, like, you know, it's not like that bad. Like you also can be like you can be a breeder, you could be a groomer, you could feed them popkins, I believe they're called, their foods. So there are many options that you have.
A groomer. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've given Kieran access to really unfettered access to a brilliant fantasy world full of limitless potential, and they've chosen to feed and clean up after bugs, and I think we just need to respect that. June.
Yes.
What is your 3 Pokemon team?
Okay. As Kieran said, there are a lot of them.
Yes. Which should make this easier, actually.
Okay. 3 of them.
Yes.
Birds on birds.
Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres.
That's a strong play.
Different elements, but also flying type.
Yep.
Balance, June. It's a good balance.
Was it good?
That's
a good idea.
Is it good?
No one asked me, but it's 3 Murkrows. So that's
no, I feel that. I appreciate that.
Now I'm going to ask a question to the Audran captains here. Let's see here. Pick any captain that you like to answer this one. What was the initiate project they were assigned to complete your senior all-courier marks?
That's a very good question.
And for those who don't memorize voices, whomst are we speaking to?
Terribly sorry. Captain Molden Fox School.
Oh, it's weird.
Let's see here.
He's so cool. He's so cool.
Wish he was my dad.
Cece, sit down.
Sorry.
Is someone talking? Somebody's talking.
Cece.
Anyway, my initiate project was a relatively interesting one.
I should hope so. We're about to hear a story about it.
Of course it was. My all-career mentor had me go into a different world and bring something back. He didn't specify what world it was supposed to be, but it was a different one different than Sphere itself.
How did you travel between the worlds?
Oh.
Where is the portal?
That is my secret, my dear friend. But I did bring back something. And in doing so, gained my all-courier status.
Was it?
And about where would you say your route is right now if we're just, shooting the breeze, being very casual? Where would you say you are?
Oh, you can find me anytime, old chap. But it will cost you.
Are they flirting?
Very well.
It's really cool. Oh man.
Wait, there are still questions to be asked. There are still questions to be asked. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about this later.
I look forward to it.
Oh goodness. Okay. If Sphere had a Halloween adjacent holiday, which I'm going to say there absolutely is, and there are probably more than one, and we'll make that up at another time, what would your favorite Halloween candy be? So this is a multi-dynamic question. Not only do we want to know what your favorite candy would be, but we want to know the favorite spookified Halloween version of that candy would be.
Oh, yes.
So if we were to consider the Cadbury cream egg, it is the Cadbury cream egg with the green yolk. That is the range. That is the vibe that we're going for right now.
Interesting. Favorite candy. It has to be spooky. I like this. So there's this candy. It is called Haichu, and like not a lot of people know about it, but it's like the far superior version of another kind of candy, and I like that one. So if it were scary, it would be called like Low Chew, because it's like down in the depths of the earth, and yeah.
We're talking licorice flavors with the consistency of Haichu.
Yes, yes. We are talking the most malty, bitter Haichu you've ever had in your life, and it's called Low Chew. Yeah.
This is very good.
Yes.
This I could see liking very much. June.
It's like it's a candy that is shaped like skulls. Coated in chocolate. But they're not like human skulls. They're animal skulls.
What's the filling of the candy, or is it just a solid chocolate morsel?
So the outer coating is chocolate. The inside, the skull part, is like a hardened sugar kind of situation.
You seem unsure.
Well, it's not a nougat. I don't know what it's called, but it's like hard sugar in the shape of a animal skull, dipped in chocolate.
Dope.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could call it sugar because it's a hard sugar.
We'll just call it sugar. Kieran.
I think it would be kind of cool for like taffy, but then when you stretch it, it makes like ghost faces.
Yeah.
And I think the best name I could come up with is spooky saltwater taffy. Might need to workshop that a little bit.
We'll send it on to marketing. I feel like that's an easy play.
That could be kind of cool.
That's great. Yeah.
Moving on to a question for the Audran captains. If it's not too spoilery, what made you want to be a captain on an Audran in the first place, as opposed to the many other career paths in either in the Swiftwell service or on Sphere in general?
That's a very interesting question. This is Captain Wiltham Nod. I had a very successful career before I became an Audran captain. Interesting fact, I'm the only Grey Audran captain there's ever been. I came to it very early, mostly because in the very beginning, I had an opportunity to really stick it to my father. And that really, really appealed to me. And so I guess you could say spite has really brought me to being a Grey Audran captain.
Spite is a powerful motivator, though I will say, Wiltham, you were a person of not inconsiderable resources and definitely considerable skills. There are a lot of ways I could imagine a person like yourself committing themselves to an act of ceremonial vengeance against a parent. Why is it that you chose to take your vengeance in this way? The Swiftwell Courier Service, well, they do take care of their own. They don't live in comfort. They struggle and strive more often than anything else. What drew you to that?
No, you're very right. And one of the things that just fascinated me about it all was I grew up with so much money, just so much. And I'm not saying that I hate money. I don't by any stretch of the imagination. But it's been so liberating to not care about it anymore. Sure, it makes the world go round. Of course it does. That's just the way it goes. But there's a part of me that loves this sense that it's just meaningless. And I love that.
Chilling. Let's move back to the children. What do you envision as your ideal future self? If you were to describe yourself in, let's say, 10 years, where would you like to be?
I'd say I have it all. I would say that I have my own ship. I can command the forces of nature using perhaps a magic of some sort. I would like to say that I have an arsenal of weapons and a legion of flunkies that will do my bidding. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think that is what. Yeah, that's what I see myself. It's like an ideal self. It's where I see myself, my 10-year plan. It's kind of being they call me Overlord Witwick rather than Captain. And, I can command the forces of nature at my will. And I have already thrown the Mariner into the sun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You imagine yourself having all of the power that Sphere has to offer, but no goals for which to use it.
Well, why are elevator jokes so classic and good?
Why is that?
Because they work on so many levels. Got him! Got the broker guy!
That's quite funny.
Oh!
That's quite funny.
Pow! Bow before the overlord!
That's very good. That's a very good joke.
Thank you. Thank you. June?
I would like to have. I mean, I guess I'd like to have reached all career status. Being able to keep doing the job and helping people, but also like kind of the freedom to be on your own and like do it by yourself.
This is a fascinating thing for you to say, June Hemnall. If my records have it correct, your friends made a stand to prevent you from being sorted away from them during the ceremony. Yet you crave independence. You crave a lifestyle that almost necessitates an eventual separation.
Your records should show that I was the one who put my foot down about it, Mr. Broker, sir. Because we needed each other. We need each other right now. And I don't doubt that we'll need each other in the future too, but if I were to make all career, I would have the freedom to go wherever Cece goes or wherever Kieran goes, but also continue to do the job and other things. But in addition to being all career, I think what I'd really like to do is help find new griffins, like the eggs and stuff. Like,
interesting. Cece dreams of owning the world as a thing that she can hold in her two hands, and you dream of moving around the world.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Kieran, what about you?
I don't think I've actually found what I want to be yet. I think part of me going around right now is figuring that out. And I mean, like, I know that I want to have found my dad. Hopefully it doesn't take 10 years, but I don't really know what happens after that. And that's kind of scary, but I feel like we'll figure it out together.
Well, you can always consult Captain Foxskull if after you find your father you want to commit some sort of elaborate act of rebellion.
I don't think that's something
I'm not very good at fathers. I wouldn't. Maybe that's not helpful, but it does seem that perhaps your ambition is to find knowledge of self, would you say?
I just want to make sure that the people I care about are safe. And if they are, then there's not really a lot for me to worry about, and I can figure it out later.
That was nice, Kieran. That was really nice.
Yeah, Kieran, I support that.
Yeah, that's way better than mine.
That is quite sweet.
I just have to say very quickly, Coriander Swiftwell here.
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Coriander's here. Everybody put your jackets back on.
Sit down, children. Sit down. It's all
man.
right. I'm just going to take a real quick
Y'all
moment
took your
here.
jackets off?
No.
I was sweating.
Please.
Mine is fused to my arms and back.
Oh, Cece, you should definitely take that off.
Children, please. Now, I'll just put my head in here just for a second, just to say, we have reached 19K, my friends.
Hey!
Congratulations to you all.
And she dabs uncontrollably.
Blam. Yeah, yes.
Now, I don't mean to take any more of your time. You enjoy yourselves in here. And if you need anything, you need cider, you need blankets, anything, you just let me and Rebecca know.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
sir.
Wow. Thank you. Cool.
Wow.
Pretty neat.
Yo,
19?
we just got like totally. We just got like the greatest cameo appearance from the coolest person the world has ever known.
You are just $1,000 away from reaching your ultimate ambition of summoning new music into your program. I'm very excited for you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I'm losing composure right now. You must forgive me.
It's okay. Do you need a break?
You need
or,
a second?
Some water or
Well,
something?
I would actually I'd like to turn to the Audran captains here. We've seen that Dennison, well, being a competent captain, a good captain by many measures, it does not find comfort in looking after children. Of the remaining captains, which would you say is the best with kids?
Oh, that's got to be me. Absolutely, that's me. Don't you guys think that's me? That's absolutely me. I'll agree a canticle here. Captain of the Yellow Audran.
Oh yeah.
She's so intimidating.
You're like super cool.
Thank
They're
you.
all intimidating. What?
Thank you so much. No, children. It's fine. I'm just gonna sit here and say, I love kids. They're wonderful, and absolutely, I make sure that each of my kids, I spend personal time with them on the Audran every single day. That's what I do, and that's what I make sure.
Wow.
So, I each one of those kids, they are like my own children. I need them to understand that they are willing to go out and do what needs to be done to do what's right in this world.
Wow. Was it you who gave us the feather at the novice fair? Was that you?
No, that was me.
Yeah. Well,
Wiltham not. I
oh
did that.
God, I'm sorry. You all have such cool raincoats.
No.
Colors.
No. I mean, no offense to not. Clearly just doesn't have the raw charisma. I would have certainly inserted the more interesting and dynamic person over, well, the frankly uninspiring and boring one. Again, no offense to Mr. These are just observations.
No, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I understand.
Canticle's just a real force.
Thank you. I like to think that I am. I do the best I can. And that's all we can do. That's all we can do is the best we can. And if we die in the process, then we die in the process.
What we call in the business...
That escalated so quickly.
Real Travis Madigo energy.
Wow.
Travis Madigo energy.
Real
Travis?
I liked it.
I've met Travis.
What?
What?
Well,
I heard that they're like the coolest kid in school.
If you see him, Mr. Broker, you tell him he can find me anytime he likes.
we don't have 4 hours to dedicate to that right now, but
No, we don't.
we'll probably find it. Let's turn back to the children, and that is, what is the clearest memory does Kieran have of their father?
Aw.
Ooh.
I remember we will go for walks by the beach. And on clear nights, he would show me the stars and connect them and tell me the stories about the creatures that they make. And that's how he taught me to navigate.
That is fascinating. And though we don't have what I'm going to project 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half to devote to that, because the idea of constellations and sphere where the stars famously move around becomes infinitely more fascinating to me. We're going to figure that out, and that is going to be a true delight. But I love that. That's what I imagine would be very sweet to somebody who understood parental dynamics. I want to shift a similar question to Cece. Cece,
Yeah.
what is your clearest memory of your grandmother?
Oh man, that's like super tough because like I'll be real with all of you. I was like mad young when she passed away. So like, I don't remember a lot, but like, I kind of have to go off like stories and stuff. And my mom and dad were like, I have this really vague memory of like her telling me about different places, but I just can't remember anything like that she's been and stuff. And like, I don't remember anything, but I remember that she was like broad, like even in her older age or like whatever, she was like jacked. And I remember thinking like, that's why I'm like super ripped. It's because like, I think that's the memory I have is one that my grandma's like been everywhere apparently. And like, I knew that she'd like been everywhere and seen everything. And the second one, that old lady could put up easily 450. Like no joke. I don't know if they use pounds in Sphere, but she could definitely probably press with her shoulders or just bench press like 450. So that's all I remember. But like, she was cool. She had like been like, she had traveled a lot and like, I don't know.
Then you discovered more of your grandmother's life through stories that your family told you about her, or through her journals?
Yeah, like so there are all these things that are written about her that she wrote, and my mom said that before she passed away, that map that I have now was like full of locales and details and like notes and stuff like that. But then as soon as she passed away, it became like blank, and now it's mine. And so like, it's cool now. But like, yeah, I got all these readings and stuff, but like there are a lot to remember because like, she's been everywhere. But you try, you do what you can. But yeah, like all these stories, and there's like, yeah, everybody talks about grandma like constantly because she did a lot of cool stuff that like mom and dad just like didn't. So,
Excellent.
As it goes, as the adults say, as it goes. Some say that is the way it went, and some say that it hit differently.
I believe I've heard that expression before.
Mm-hmm.
June, you're famously in conflict with your mother, but I imagine that wasn't always the case growing up. What, if anything, did you used to bond with your mother over, even if it was when you were much younger?
I feel like when I was really little, she was really good at telling me stories, just making things up, like bedtime, during a particularly loud and threatening thunderstorm, things like that. She always had the ability to kind of distract me from what was going on and tell me a story that would like keep me calm and focused and stuff. And like when I was little, I used to sit in the kitchen while she cooked at the decorative gourd, and she would tell me stories about the food and the different recipes and stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons why she was probably like really excited to teach me to cook, was because I used to like sitting in there while she was cooking and she would tell me the stories, but like I wasn't really there for the cooking part. I was there for the story part. And I remember those moments when she would tell me the good stories.
Did your mother ever bake a pie full of birds? It's
No.
a popular thing, and it's a popular thing. You should consider it. Pie full of live birds. They fly
Live
out.
birds?
Oh, yes. Very popular.
How did they get baked in there?
Well, it's more of
While
a crust.
still being alive.
It's more, the crust is baked in there, and then the birds burst out. It's very dramatic.
How do you put the birds in if they're alive, though? I don't understand.
I am not a culinary sorcerer, I don't know the methodology. I just know it's a great spectacle.
Oh, okay. I'll suggest that.
Yeah, suggest that. That's a good one to take back.
Cool. Thank you.
Let's turn to the Audran captains. Molden.
Yes, darling.
What are your favorite named bugs?
Oh. I have a particular mantis by the name of Reginald, who is one of my absolute favorites. He's quite a little charmer, really. He's completely black, as dark as midnight.
Ooh.
With these beautiful, beautiful red and yellow eyes. And the amazing thing is, in a dark room, they are the only things you can see if he is in there. And you get drawn to them.
That is an extraordinarily desirable mantis.
I have to show you where I find them. There's a particular jungle where you can find them.
I would like that very much. We are approaching the end of our time here. And children, I just want to say I have enjoyed this. I've enjoyed this very much. You remind me of my spookiest butlers. And I mean that as a compliment. In the highest regard.
Do you have unspooky butlers?
I should hope not.
Oh.
There's like a certain level of spooky they have to be at in order to be approved as a butler.
It's like an exam.
I mean, if you think that there's a chance that I have butlers that are not spooky, I can call for an inspection right now to make sure.
I'm sure it's fine.
I think it's fine. I think it's really good.
Did you see anyone not being spooky?
No.
I was terrified the whole time. I was sitting here on the edge of my seat, gripping.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have had such a very enjoyable time talking to all of you. I hope that all of our viewers at home had an enjoyable time as well. We are still marching towards that $20,000 goal, so please take some time to head to bit.ly/SkyjacksCC2. Is that what?
I think so.
I'm gonna navigate to that website right now and ensure. Yes, it is bit.ly/SkyjacksCC2. You can head there right now and you can give money to these wonderful fictional children. And it will make their adventures all the more enjoyable.
Better, yeah.
Yeah. The sooner we cross that $20,000 parallel, the better. I want to now take a moment to thank Drew Merziesky, thank Ali Grauer, thank Aaron Catano-Saez, thank Palomi Pratap for taking their time. I want to thank the audience very much for hanging out with us through this period, for promoting the Kickstarter, for supporting the show, not just with financial support, but with your enthusiasm, with your fan art, with your fan songs, with your reactions every week. I know it means a great deal to the whole cast to hear you interact with their art and the wonderful choices that they make on air. You can never know how much it means to a performer to hear you step forward and say those kind things. So thank you again for sticking with us. And with all that said, I do think it's time to remind everyone that there are no kings. Take flight.